Square. Good morning, Sitzik, Sarah, and Tammie Sutherland. Melanie Ng filling in for the next little bit, just the next couple of weeks. We've got smiles on our faces because what we're about to chat about next is it can go anywhere. It can go a number of places. If you've been listening to Tammie Sutherland's news updates, we are at a total of 48 candidates in the running to be next mayor of the city of Toronto.
All?
Just 48, a mere 48. And Olivia Chow officially throwing her name in yesterday. So here's a list. You can re-rack that and take a look again later because it's a very, very long one. But the thing is, and a lot of the conversations that are happening with Torontonians now is, I don't know what to do. What are the numbers going to look like to be able to elect the next mayor? And they're calling it could be an accidental mayor for a number of reasons. There is no incumbent. At this point, there doesn't seem to be a front runner. You know, there are names that are familiar, but that doesn't necessarily mean a front runner. The campaign's short. We're going to the polls in what, 2 months and a little bit?
Yeah, a little over that.
And voter turnout, right? Because do you even want to head to the ballot? One, if you don't know what you want to do, I do suggest you go to the ballot. But if you don't feel confident in your pick. So, Tammie, how do you feel? I mean, obviously you reported for the news, but what do you think about this campaign in general and how a mayor is going to come out of all of this with all of this?
It's just crazy how we have gone from one polar opposite to the next. Like in the fall, in that election, we're dealing with, I mean, there were still dozens of candidates, but the well-known names, really, it was Tory and a couple of other people. And that was it. It was kind of a done deal. Voter turnout was at 30%. It was at a record low. And then you come here now, and we are at this long list. There are at least a dozen, if not more, like pretty high-profile names that should be known in the city. So to go about this, like I no longer live in Toronto, and I think that might be good for me at this point because I honestly wouldn't know. I know it's early and the candidate list is almost at 50, but May 12th is the deadline to actually sign up as a candidate. So that list is going to get longer. We don't know who's going to jump in the fray again and make this list of high-profile candidates even longer. It's a struggle to figure it out. It's still early, but at the same time, I still don't see how we narrow this down to, let's say, the top 3 front runners.
Yeah, it's going to fly. This time will fly. Sid?
It will. Can we throw that board back up, guys? This is an eye test. Okay?
Cover one eye. Yeah.
This is one of the more, I don't know, I was going to say ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. Getting involved in civic politics is always a great thing. You always want to see it, especially now when people are, quite frankly, being chased away from politics because of bullying on Twitter and ridiculous things like that. But to both your points, I don't know where we go with this. So I'm gonna throw something out here, and we talked about it in the break, and I firmly believe this. We need not 1, not 2, not 3. We need a series of debates in this city, televised, not streamed, televised, that matter. So if you are a candidate, if you're Olivia Chow, if you're Josh Matlow, you're Brad Bradford, I don't care who you are, you may think you're in a good position here. The majority of the city really doesn't know you like that. This is one of the biggest cities in the world. And what really concerns me is that we go to the polls June 26th and we don't know anybody. We don't have a situation where we can pair people off and actually have some level of discourse about safety on the TTC, about housing affordability, about the homeless issue in this city, about everything, about what's going to happen to that part of the Gardiner that no one likes. About a $1 billion shortfall in the budget. Like these are things that matter that we need to see candidates, maybe go at is not the right term, but I'd like to see a conversation between Olivia Chow and anyone else who, quite frankly, is polling more than 5%. And that's not asking for much. So I just long for the days of debates. Federally and provincially, we've lost it. Let's from a municipal standpoint, bring it back. I want to see Tammie Sutherland front a major debate in this city on City TV.
You've just been volunteered, Tam.
Yes, Tam. Thank you, Tam, for volunteering.
No problem. The only problem is with this long list of candidates, you cannot single out, let's say, 5 or 6, at least at this point, where we don't know who a front runner is.
It's got to be 10 to 15,
yes.
right?
And I mean, it's going to be, that's going to be quite a debate, and they're going to have a debate. They're having one in Scarborough next month. So There is going to be a Scarborough debate that's happening. Again, I don't know who's participating, how it's going to run. This is something that is, I'm sure a lot of people want to see exactly what you're talking about, Sid, to see these people actually carry themselves in a debate to see who might be the next great leader of the city. But it's extra tough considering this long list that's about to get longer. It's getting longer every day.
But it can be done.
But you think about, we've all been part of debates, right? Let's just say you've got 7 of the top candidates as part of a debate. Guess how much airtime or messaging gets through within that time with 7 candidates? There's a lot of talk over. You won't get what you want out of it, I don't think.
Well, I'd rather try, though.
That's
I'd
fair.
rather try, because there's no way we can go to the polls in this city and no one calls a current city councilor on their voting record over the last 4, 5, 6 years. There's no way Mark Saunders is going to talk about safety in the city and no one's going to call him out on his record. I think it's completely unfair on all angles. So I trust the city news team.
He's looking
and
at you,
Tammie
Tam.
Sutherland. I'm serious. I'm yearning for this. That list was unbelievable, and we're going to go to the polls. My voice is cracking.
That's
We're going to
how
go to the
steady
polls, and we're not going to have some type of discourse here. We're not going to have people challenge each other. We're just going to go, I'm running, and I'm for safety. Thanks. Appreciate the platform. Really like it. Like Josh Matlow was making announcements about making announcements. Like, I want meat on the bone here. There's 48 people running for mayor. I don't know a lot of them. I'm sure a lot of you at home don't know a ton of them. The only way to thin this is to have a discussion. Because Toronto, we're not in good shape. Breaking news. We're not in good shape. This really matters, and I urge you all to vote. But getting people to vote also means showing the candidates in a way where people feel involved in the process. And this Twitter thing, I'm going to send out a press release and this and that. We're not going to get the mayor we need. I'm sorry. We're not going to get the mayor we need. Tammie Sutherland has to have a debate in the city, live on City TV.
Just a moment.
I know I've volunteered Tammie 9 times, but Tammie, I trust you, and you have to do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
I'll work on it.
Let's go.
I'll be back.
Let's go.